I used to work the night shift at St. Mary's Hospital. It was the usual routine of emergencies. A few unfortunate souls succumbing to illness, and the occasional odd case that left us all scratching our heads. But nothing could have prepared me for the night. The Expressionless came in. It was a quiet night, around 3 a.m., and I was just about to grab a coffee when the ambulance arrived. The paramedics rushed in, wheeling a gurney. On it lay a woman who made my blood run cold. Her skin was as pale as a corpse, and she was completely naked. But the most disturbing part was her face. She had no expression, none at all. It was like someone had wiped her emotions clean off her face. She didn't move. She didn't react. She just stared with those empty, lifeless eyes. We quickly got her into a room, and the doctors began their examination. I stood in the corner, unable to take my eyes off her. It wasn't just her expressionless face that was unnerving. It was the way she lay there, so still, so silent, like she wasn't human. The doctors couldn't find anything wrong with her physically. Her vital signs were stable, and there were no signs of trauma or illness. But she wouldn't respond to any stimuli, no matter what they did. She just lay there, staring. Then, as Dr. Collins leaned in to check her eyes, she suddenly moved. Her hand shot up and grabbed his wrist with a strength that was impossible for someone in her condition. She pulled him close and whispered something in his ear. His face went white, and he staggered back, clutching his chest. "Code blue," someone shouted, and the room erupted into chaos. Dr. Collins collapsed to the floor, and we rushed to save him. But it was too late. He was dead before he hit the ground. As we worked on him, I glanced back at the woman. She was sitting up, her eyes fixed on me. For the first time, she had an expression. It was a smile, but not a normal one. It was a smile that chilled me to the bone. A smile that spoke of things far beyond my understanding. Security was called, and they tried to restrain her, but she was gone. She moved with an unnatural speed, slipping past them and disappearing into the night. We searched the entire hospital, but there was no trace of her. Dr. Collins' autopsy revealed nothing. No cause of death, no explanation for the terror in his eyes. The only clue we had was his last words, whispered to me as he lay dying. She said she was not human. I quit my job the next day. I couldn't stay in that place, knowing she was out there somewhere. The expressionless. The woman who wasn't human. I've tried to forget, to convince myself it was just a nightmare. But every time I close my eyes, I see her face, that cold, empty stare. And I know she's still out there, waiting,